Welcome back to another episode of PTMTR, where today we are going to be tackling mac and cheese. Now there are so many recipes out there and even more just to add water boxes, but please, let's have some self-respect. Now in a pan, bring your water up to a simmer and season it with some salt and olive oil just to keep the pasta from sticking. Your water should taste slightly less salty than the sea. Then just drown your pasta in it and let it cook away until it's al dente. Meanwhile, we're going to sort out this cheese. I've opted for the most incredible Gruyere cheese and some sharp cheddar and some phenomenal Bavarian smoked cheese, or any German smoked cheese is fine. Now don't lose your grater like me, but break it down into fine shreds to ensure even meltage and consistency down the line. Now coat it all with about a tablespoon or two's worth of corn flour. Not only is this going to help the cheese from clumping, but it'll help the texture of the cheese in the sauce later on. Talking of, start by making a simple bechamel. I'm starting mine with some smoked chorizo, or you can also use some smoked paprika. We just want a subtle nod of smoky flavour, so don't go too heavy on that. Add in your 2 tablespoons of butter and let it all melt down, but not brown. Then go in with your flour and mix it through to cook out the raw flavour of the flour until you end up with a crumbly looking mix. Then, bit by bit, go in with some whole milk and keep whisking the mixture. It'll be clumpy at first, but soon it'll start to thicken up beautifully. Keep adding milk till it's thick and runny. You don't want it too pasty because remember, the cheese will also thicken up the sauce later on. And at this point, I like to add a little savouriness to the sauce. So season it with a bit of pepper and a single bay leaf and let the sauce sit on a low heat for a few minutes until those beautiful aromas are infused with the milk. Once that's done, remove the bay leaf. And finally, of course, add the cheese. For ease, I mix it in small handfuls. Keep mixing it until you're satisfied that there are no lumps and it should look and feel absolutely silky and almost stringy. Now, obviously, homage to the world of soul food, I like to spike mine with a bit of classic Louisiana hot sauce. Now don't be shy, we want that OG reddish tinge to the mix. Mix that well and then taste for seasoning. So add in your salt and white pepper at that point should you need it and mix it through. Now hopefully by now your pasta should have been ready, so drain it off and add the noodles to the mix, making sure that this is done off the heat. Fold the noodles into the sauce until every piece of pasta is dressed beautifully. Then grab your oven safe dish, tip your mac and cheese out onto it and make sure it's as level as possible because we don't want any of the bits popping out and burning. Then what you want to do is grate a healthy amount of parmesan over the top. I also like to add in some panko breadcrumbs over the top to give that extra texture. Now if you're one who likes to go the extra mile, toast them until they're blonde in butter, then sprinkle them over the dish instead. Finally, if you want to season it with some salt, go ahead and just pop it in the oven under the grill until you see all that cheese sort of melting and bubbling away underneath it. Give it a couple of minutes to cool off and just dig in. Now this is great for your kids, yourself. Just try it. Don't ever let me catch you with a box of Kraft mac and cheese after this. If you like this, please comment, subscribe and throw some suggestions down below. Please support me on my Patreon page as well if you appreciate what I do. Happy cooking.